Hello friends, hope you all are fine. Today we are going to discuss a very important chapter which is from the subject social and business ethics, and the topic is corporate social responsibility. Corporate social responsibility is comprised of three words, that is corporate, which means the business world, social, which means the society, and the responsibility, which means the obligations. That means corporate social responsibility is the obligation of the companies towards the society. That means what the society has given the company in the form of resources is to be given back to the community. So, corporate social responsibility is a broad concept that can take many forms depending upon the company and the industry. So, it varies from company to company and industry to industry. As CSR is important for the community, it is also very important for all the companies because all the activities which the companies perform in the form of CSR forge a strong bond between the employees and the corporations and will surely boost up the morale and help both the employees and the employers to feel more connected to the world. Now let us learn what is the meaning of CSR. CSR means the business practices involving initiatives that will benefit the ultimate society. And also, it incurs short term costs that do not provide an immediate benefit to the company but always provide a positive social change or an environmental change which would lead to prosperity of the business also. Now, let us learn what is the meaning of CSR. CSR means the business practices involving initiatives that will benefit the ultimate society. And also, it incurs short term costs that do not provide an immediate benefit to the company but always provide a positive social change or an environmental change which would lead to prosperity of the business also. Now, heading towards the next topic, that is features or the nature of corporate social responsibility. The first feature of corporate social responsibility is made compulsory. Yes, the concept of CSR has been made compulsory under the Companies Act 2013. Next feature is multiple stakeholders orientation. The companies have responsibilities towards their stakeholders such as suppliers, employees, consumers in order to survive and prosper. Next is pervasive activity. Yes, CSR is pervasive activity because it is the obligation of managers at all the levels of the management. Next point is continuous activity. CSR is not the responsibility of the company to practice once or twice. That means it should be continually done. Next is profit maximization is essential for CSR. Yes, a company can discharge its social responsibility only if it is economically sound and has sufficient profits. That means it depicts the profitable condition of the company also. Now let's move toward the next topic, that is component of CSR. There are four major components, that are business ethics, corporate governance, customers and community. We'll understand one by one. Business ethics, as we all know that business ethics relate to value based and ethical business practices that is adopted by the companies. Next is corporate governance. Corporate governance policy would enable the company to realize its corporate objectives, protect shareholder rights, meet the legal requirements, etc. Next is customers. Customers are the ultimate aimed of the company. The cost and quality of products may be the greatest concern to the customer, but these are not the only aspects that customer are concerned with. So we should know each and every aspect. Next is community. A major stakeholder to the business is the community in which we operate. CSR requires the involvement of all of a company with the community. So these were the components of our CSR. Now our next topic is importance of CSR. Corporate social responsibility generates direct and indirect business benefits. So we will learn it one by one. First point is better public image and brand image. The firm has to have a good public image to secure more customers, better employees, and higher profits. So acceptance of social responsibility goals helps to improve the public image. Next point is long-term business interest. A firm which is sensitive and responsive to the community needs will help in making community a better place to live in. Next is customer satisfaction and retention. CSR practices adopted by the companies improve the customer's attitude toward the company. They are always attracted to a socially responsible companies. Next point is brand differentiation. By doing our CSR at time and also fulfilling our obligations, our brand always stood out differently in the market. Our next point is saves cost and traditional advertising cost. Yes, companies do not have to waste money on the expensive advertising companies. Instead, they can generate free publicity and benefit from the word of mouth marketing by sharing their corporate social responsibility practices with media. Next point is building positive workplace environment. One of the greatest benefits of promoting social responsibility in the workplace is a positive environment built for the employees. When employees and management feel that they are working for a company which is socially responsible, they will be more enthusiastic, more engaged in their jobs. Let's head toward our next topic, that is theories of CSR. This is very important topic because there are various theories. We will discuss the 8 theories of CSR, that is classical view theory, instrumental theory, agency theory, legitimacy theory, institutional theory, stakeholder theory, ethical theories, and moral theories. So our first theory is classical view theory. In the reference of Friedman's classical view, the purpose for the business to exist are for distributing their products and the services to the society and thereafter creating economic value which is subsequently generating the profits for the shareholders. That means classical view theory focuses on the classical view of generating the profit and keeping the main objective as profit maximization. Our next theory is instrumental theory. Instrumental approach is a perspective that only obligations of the corporation is to maximize profit for its shareholder in providing goods and services that meet the needs of its customers. So it always focuses on the fulfilling the needs and maximizing the profits of the shareholders. So you can see the 3 objectives that are maximizing the shareholders value, strategies for achieving competitive advantage, cause related marketing. So our first theory is classical view theory. In the reference of Friedman's classical view, the purpose for the business to exist are for distributing their products and the services to the society and thereafter creating economic value which is subsequently generating the profits for the shareholders. That means classical view theory focuses on the classical view of generating the profit and keeping the main objective as profit maximization. Our next theory is instrumental theory. Instrumental approach is a perspective that only obligations of the corporation is to maximize profit for its shareholder in providing goods and services that meet the needs of its customers. So it always focuses on the fulfilling the needs and maximizing the profits of the shareholders. So you can see the 3 objectives that are maximizing the shareholders value, strategies for achieving competitive advantage, cause related marketing. Next is agency theory. Agency theory, as the name says, is a study of relationship between the business principals and their agents. The agents of the principals are the directors and the agents are the managers at the different levels. So this theory explains the relationship between these two. Managers are the agents of the shareholder that assume the responsibility on their behalf. Next is legitimacy theory. Legitimacy theory focuses on the notion that there is a social contract between an organization and the society. That means study organization and the society and their relationship in this very theory. This theory states that for an organization to continue operational success and achieve its objectives, it must act within the boundaries and norms which the society identifies for them. Our next theory is institutional theory. Institutional theory is an external factor that influences the way an organization act and perform its CSR practices, because one of the driver to CSR performance is the pressure exerted by the stakeholders and the competitors. So, the performance of CSR is to be reviewed and to be affected by these factors. So, this we cover under institutional theory. Next is stakeholders theory. Stakeholders theory focuses on the relationship between the business organization and any single individual or the group of people or the functional bodies that are involved in achieving the organization's objective. Next theory is ethical theories. Ethical theories are based upon the principle that express the right thing to do to achieve the good society, which will strengthen the relationship between organization and the society. Or ethical theories are universal rights, sustainable development, the common good approach. All these theories focuses on the ethical values of the business. Next and the last theory is moral theories. Moral theories are, first one is egoism theory. Egoism theory states that do good or refrain from doing harm if good for the company. That means if anything is good for the company, only then we have to do good or refrain from harming anything. Next is utilitarianism. It's moral obligation of company to maximize the prosperity and happiness. That means that it is the obligation of the company that it has to look around for the prosperity and for the happiness of the society. Next is libertarianism. Companies are morally obligated not to violate anyone's right rather than helping anyone positively. That means there is no such obligation that we have to help anyone, but there is an obligation that we should not violate anyone's right. Before implementing CSR in our organization, there are always arguments which are against and for the motion. So we will discuss both one by one. First one is arguments against the social responsibility. First one is cost of social work. Has already limited resources. So if it is used in the social work, then business activity may slow down. These are some things which are told by this, which are thought by the people who are against CSR. Next is businessman is not expert in social work. Businessman is obviously not expert in social work because he has not done the master in social works, but master of social work is higher qualification for doing social work and fulfilling the social responsibility. Next is social responsibility is not a legal responsibility. Some businessmen argue that the social responsibility is not a legal responsibility, so no one can put pressure on businessmen to give donation under any law. Next is international competition. One of the most important argument given by the Indian businessmen is that they have to face international competition. After adopting some social responsibility, it will increase the prices of their products and become because of competition, their business will fail and foreign companies will win the competition. Our last argument, which is against the CSR, is ignore business aim. It is a duty of government to do social activities. If the businessman ignores his business aim and start doing social activities, then after ignoring business aim, businessman cannot succeed in the business. Now let's head towards the arguments for CSR. First argument is public requirements. Business can exist only with the public support, and only if business fulfill the needs of the society, the business can flourish. Next is favorable for the business. Performance of social obligation by the business will not be in the interest of society but its own interest of the company. Next is moral justification. Nowadays, modern industrial society faces many serious social problems as a result of emergence of large companies. So there are various norms which they have to follow. So by doing CSR, they can be easily be coping up with the situation. Next is public image. Only that firm can enjoy better reputation in the public which support the corporate social responsibility. This is very evident. Next is socio-cultural norms. In a country like India, where social and cultural values have very long and rich heritage, a business promoting social equalities will always be in the better position. Next is government regulations. If business does not respond positively to the needs of the society, then it may not be compelled to do so through government. If it thinks so, he is wrong. That means the companies can be compelled by the government to follow the rules and regulation and perform CSR obligations. Next is indebted to the society. Business units benefit for the society. In return, it also has certain debts that it owes to the society. Business uses vast pool of resources in terms of men, talent, expertise, and money. So these were the arguments that were against as well as for the motion of CSR. Now heading towards the last topic for today, that is problems in implementation of CSR. The first problem is lack of resources. The lack of resources, including the finances, capital, knowledge, and expertise, are a common barrier to CSR implementation. Next is lack of strategic vision. The lack of strategic vision means the lack of key management commitment. One way to express commitment towards CSR is by incorporating it into the company's mission, vision, and objectives and goals. Next is lack of measurement system. Measurement systems are required to quantify the benefits of implementing CSR. So it can be a barrier if you don't have the measurement system in your company. Next is the objective of profit maximization. The main objective of any organization is profit maximization, as shareholders want or the profits to be replowed back for the expansion of business. So the projects need to be evaluated very carefully. Next is the division. There are a number of divisions in the organization which are competing among themselves and also strive towards main goal of the organization, that is profit. Next is low willingness to pay CSR. This is a drastic problem because the companies having low willingness to pay for CSR, the customers are not willing to compromise when it comes to the payment of the premium for CSR. They may, however, have a willingness to punish when CSR is lacking. Next is high regulatory standards. The firm operating in highly regulatory industries such as shipping possess a large amount of non-specific mm, resources. These resources add to financial burden of the companies. So this can be a barrier. Next is competition in industry. There are many competitors in the industry for the same organizations. When a particular organization does some socially beneficial activity for the benefit of the society only, then it may be appreciated by the other competitors in the industry, which makes individual organization very difficult to survive in the industry alone. So with this we finish our topic for today, that was corporate social responsibility. Hope you all understood the topic very well and wish you very good luck for your exams.